Depression is different to occasionally feeling down. It is feeling down and low and hopeless for weeks at a time. It interferes with daily living and normal routine and affects the sufferer and those close to them. There are degrees of depression, going from mild to moderate to severe. Generally, the earlier you can recognize the symptoms of depression and make positive changes to counter it, the less likely it is to worsen. Depression can come about in many different ways. Generally, it is accepted that social circumstances, specific incidents, and/or individual thought patterns can contribute to someone becoming depressed. Depression appears to be the result of a combination of circumstances: living on your own, having difficulty with money, and not being in a worthwhile job. It would seem that low self-esteem, though it is difficult to tell if this is a result of the depression or predated it. Some people would argue that it is not what happens to us but how we respond to it that determines whether or not our mood drops, and we get depressed. Depression makes you feel there is no purpose in living and every activity is pointless. But if you want to battle it, you have to be active. Out here is how you can treat your depression as something different. What is the death rate of depression? 25 million Americans suffer from depression each year. Over 50% of all people who die by suicide suffer from major depression. If one includes alcoholics who are depressed, this figure rises to over 75%. Depression affects nearly 5 to 8% of Americans ages 18 and over in a given year. Exercising starts a biological cascade of events that results in many health benefits, such as protecting against heart disease and diabetes, improving sleep, and lowering blood pressure. High-intensity exercise releases the body's feel-good chemicals called endorphins, resulting in the runner's high that joggers report. But for most of us, the real value is in low-intensity exercise sustained over time. That kind of activity spurs the release of proteins called neurotrophic or growth factors, which cause nerve cells to grow and make new connections. The improvement in brain function makes you feel better. In people who are depressed, neuroscientists have noticed that the hippocampus in the brain, the region that helps regulate mood, is smaller. Exercise supports nerve cell growth in the hippocampus, improving nerve cell connections, which helps relieve depression.
Go on, go on, go on. 100, 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9. Go on, go, go.
The following hobbies are packed with natural methods that will help you alleviate your depression and gain control of your life. Writing, therapeutic writing.
Gardening, sticking to your hand in soil has been scientifically proven to release serotonin, which lacks is related to depression. During the midst of our germaphobe society, it's hard to believe that there is research digging into the health benefits of soil and its depression-fighting attributes. When we grow our food and harvest it, dopamine is released. Sunlight naturally releases dopamine, the feel-good drug, as well as increases vitamin D, which both ward off depression.
Dietary pattern characterized by a high intake of fruit, vegetables, whole grain, fish, olive oil, low-fat dairy, and antioxidants, and low intakes of animal foods was apparently associated with a decreased risk of depression. A dietary pattern characterized by a high consumption of red and/or processed meat, refined grains, sweets, high-fat dairy products, butter, potatoes, and high-fat gravy, and low intakes of fruits and vegetables is associated with an increased risk of depression.
That's the question, I guess, that keeps coming up to me was, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, I keep thinking that too.
Well, I keep saying, de-emphasize anxiety. Reassure people. You meet people who say, I'm really scared. I'm scared about my job. I'm scared about my relay. I'm scared. The answer is, don't worry. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? I mean, it's a total waste of time. It presupposes such a knowledge of the situation that it is, in fact, a form of hubris. You know, no, what you do is just pay your bills and, you know, pack heat if you need to, and don't worry. That's all. Yes. Worry is praying to the devil. That's great. Worry is betting against yourself. You know, Wi Po Yang, a great Chinese Taoist who wrote many, many commentaries on the I Ching, he was asked at the end of his life what was his conclusion of a life of studying the I Ching. And he said, worry is preposterous. That was it.